Hi, and welcome everyone to Lost in a Light Field. And our topic today is unlocking AR potential with our friend Joost van Schaik about developing for Snap spectacles. And there's Joost. Many of you will already know him. He's a very well-known mixed reality developer who's done a lot for the HoloLens and is now working with Snap spectacles. And his most famous application is the Holo ATC. Hi Joost, welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I'm not only working with Snap Spectrals and HoloLens, but also Magic Leap 2 and Quest and basically everything that wants to display mixed reality. So yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Of course, always happy to have you. Maybe tell us a bit more about your background.
Yeah, well, I started. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and late 2015, I got my first HoloLens on my head, and I was hooked from the second. I pivoted my career. I'm going to be a mixed reality developer then and there. Well, I had a little bit of luck of actually getting hold of HoloLenses, and yeah, well, made my claim to fame Holo ATC, and later another app. Teamed up for a while with Alexander. With professional development, due to COVID, we had to go our separate ways. And I've been working for various startups now, and I'm basically a full-time mixed reality developer since then. So
Still missing you, Joost. Still missing you.
yeah, the same. That is, but yeah,
Awesome.
things don't always go as you like.
So,
Yeah.
but today we're not talking about the HoloLens for a change,
Oh,
but
no.
about the Snap spectacles. Maybe for people who have never seen the glasses, do you wanna show them and tell us a little bit about the hardware?
There you are, the Snap Spectrals. Yeah, I unfortunately have to take them down because without contact lenses or glasses, I don't see much. But these are the spectacles. You can see right through them. Yeah, well, spectacles are a. I must admit, when they said I could get one, I was like, yeah, right. I had seen pictures of the previous ones, and that were basically Google Glass like things. So I was like, I didn't really expect much. Well, let me put it right. This is a waveguide device. This is a full-fledged mixed reality device. It does. I can't say it does everything that HoloLens does, but it has all the things in it that it did. Some even better, some worse. But it is a mixed reality device, a real one. But honest to God, no bullshit. Yeah. So I started a little bit development for that. But if you know the things that HoloLens can, like a spatial map, like hand tracking, like eye tracking, all that stuff, that does it.
So how does it
Yeah.
compare to the HoloLens?
Yeah, well, it is. Well, first of all, it looks like glasses instead of a giant headset, so that's different. That comes with a price. I mean, its battery life is 45 minutes, but it has a simple USB-C port, and you can connect it to a power bank or of some sort. It has a kind of weird field of view. It's like there are two phones next to each other, so it has only a view of only 46 degrees, but it's 46 degrees also vertical. It's almost square. So you don't have the mail slot view that infamously was told about at HoloLens 2. So that's it. It's also not as powerful as HoloLens 2. I mean, I made a little demo app. My very first demo app was something that you can smack cubes away and bounce them off the wall. It was basically showing off all the things that it can do. I had to bring down the number of cubes, otherwise the app simply crashed. Because it can show less triangles. Oh, it also does spatial sound. I forgot to say that. So like basically the special things you do, yeah, it can do. But it also has a few tricks that HoloLens doesn't. Like you can dim the glasses. You can also auto dim it. So if you walk outside, you still have a good view. What more can I say about it? Let me see. I had a list of things. Spatial maps. Yeah, I always said it. It comes with a the funny thing is it doesn't use a depth map. uses pure computer vision. That of course makes the device simpler, and technology has of course improved, and especially um, machine learning or AI, actually machine learning. So it works with that. That also comes with a price. Sometimes it makes mistakes. I have a dark purple carpet on one place, and it for some reason it can't really estimate, so it looks like it's this high. I would like to be that, but not true. But these are small things, and that's pure software that can be arranged. There's two pretty weird things. You cannot buy the device. You can kind of lease it. It's like it costs about €110 or $99 per month. And then you are. And I think the minimum subscription is 1 year and the maximum is 2 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, if you do the math, it's not. It sounds like a cheap device, but if you do the math, it's not. I mean, you're paying like €1,300 per year.
Yeah, the weird thing is, but that's for me also not entirely clear, is that you still do not own the device after that period. You're actually leasing it, so it's you still need to return the device.
But I really wonder if they want it back after 2 years, because then technology.
What they explained to me was that the 2 years they have said is their expectation is that they actually will have a new device, a follow-up one, which will be even better, which will be replacing the old one. So it's a different approach. Let's put it this way.
Yeah,
interesting. And development, of course, the HoloLens development you did with Unity. How do you develop for the spectacles?
Yeah, they have a bespoke development environment called Lens Studio that looks remarkably like Unity, but is not. It's actually so much like Unity that you sometimes get confused, because you think things work like they should, but they don't. Everything is based. The code is based on either JavaScript or TypeScript. The price is that you cannot use anything you made in Unity so far. So I ported my app over to the Quest, my ATC app, to the Magic Leap. I even posted it to a Unity app, and we did some provisionary tests with Alexander Holmes with the Apple Vision Pro. This thing doesn't do that. So if you build something, you build it from scratch. That also comes, of course, everything has two sides. I mean, you both, I assume, have worked with Unity. I assume you have cursed them as much as I did, because recently I was doing something for my work, and you move up to minor versions and suddenly your hologram starts shaking. You move up to other minor versions and it stops, but then something else breaks. This problem does Snap not have. I mean, they can and sometimes, and I know they have done, like a major bug was fixed in like 24 hours. And they push a new version either of the software development environment or the Snap OS or both. Yeah, in Unity you can sometimes wait for months or just pray you find a version that works.
Yeah, I think so. So what you're saying is that Lens Studio is actually optimized to work perfectly for the device. So they actually created a kind of a Unity-like environment, which allows you the development code, which is perfectly matching the device itself. So it will always work.
Yeah, but it also has some very weird things. I mean, Snap comes from Snapchat, and this Lens Studio thing was originally designed to make Snapchat filters. Now, that's the reason why I didn't take this device seriously until I saw it, because, I mean, it's fun to send my wife a movie of myself where I barf rainbow or have dog ears, but as a mixed reality developer, I don't take that seriously. I mean, that's funny. I mean, I don't know if you still remember the infamous case of the potato boss, where they had during COVID you could have Snapchat filters on your Teams camera, And one boss was really funny, and she thought I looked like a potato, and then she had no idea how to turn it off, so she had to do the whole company meeting as a potato. I mean, funny, but apparently they earn a lot of money with it, so they could, pay for this. So power to them. But yeah, that's not interesting to me. But you sometimes run into weird things in Lens Studio, because it was originally made for Snapchat filters, and this is basically bolted on top of it. But they did a good job, I think.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I
So
agree with that.
so yeah. If you're you're saying basically the programming language is different. It's TypeScript instead of C#. And the workflow, say you are a Unity developer who's used to Unity, how big of a change is it? Is it the same kind of workflow that you have objects that you attach scripts to, or is
Yeah.
it very different? Can
No,
you go?
sorry. Yeah. No, it actually, that's a funny thing. That's actually very much the same. So you have like a scene, you have like game objects, they call them scene objects in them, and you attach scripts to them. Sometimes the thing you can usually drag things on top of it. Sometimes it doesn't work the way you think it is. You can. And there are these small things like you have to click apply every time you change a prefab. They have this. A lot of the names are the same. They have it. They call it. They also call it attached script, just like Unity. They don't call them behaviors. I'm not really sure what they actually call them, but I think of them as behaviors. I made a blog post where I literally said, "This is this, this is this, and this is that." The funny thing is, it also includes an editor for the code. That code is. Let's put it nice. That editor is, let's put it nicely, not very good. But fortunately, you can just use Visual Studio Code. There is especially if you use TypeScript, there is some TypeScript library thingy in it, and then you have proper IntelliSense, and you can use GitHub Copilot and stuff like that. Yeah, the thing is, of course, the body of work available on the internet on Unity and C# is vastly bigger than TypeScript, and even more vastly bigger than what's available in the Lens Studio. But yeah, if you mix some code so here and there from their examples, you get off the ground pretty quickly. Especially if you read my blog.
I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed that the examples it lacks a little bit on documentation, but everything is in there, and they have really good examples explaining each of the functionalities of what they allow to do. What I really like, and I think that's a nice follow-up question also, is that I know when you want to build multi-user capabilities in a device, it's always depending on very expensive libraries, like within Unity or other external party stuff you need to use. And with Snap Spectacles, that's completely different. They have just built it in, and it's easy.
Yep. They also offer quite some extensive computer vision capabilities inside. There is an AI assistant where you can say, that's the demo app, like, I want to have an image of a panda. No, I want a sitting panda. And it makes a 3D object of a panda in your glasses. Of course, that all happens somewhere in the cloud, but it's pretty impressive what it can do. That part I haven't really touched. I was really into, okay, so how can I make this work as much as a HoloLens? Can it do spatial mapping? Can it do spatial sound? Can it do occlusion? Can it do hand tracking? Yeah, it can do all that and more.
I'm curious.
Go.
So you talked about already a bit about some challenges and things. What are for you the real biggest challenges you faced when developing Snap Spectacle apps?
Yeah, well, find proper examples. And of course, I hadn't programmed in TypeScript for like 8 years. So that was like, oh God, how did that work again? I mean, TypeScript allows you to do, you can also do in JavaScript. I mean, power to you if you're a JavaScript hero. but or heroin, but I have really no idea how to do that, because then you can shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, I need guardrails. I come from a
I agree.
managed environment, so and
I think they recommend to use TypeScript over JavaScript.
I
They
think,
provide both, but they recommend to use
yeah,
TypeScript.
all the samples are also in TypeScript, so I suppose they are. So yeah, the biggest problem was, yeah, what is what, and get off the ground. Getting to understand the simulator is very weird. It starts, you don't have play mode, so you can't really, but it always runs. So as soon as you change the lens, or the lens, they call it the lens on that, restarts and starts running. But it's you have like 3 different runtime modes. It's in the end, I found you can the scene doesn't change, so you cannot runtime inspect things. That's very difficult unless you press a little pause button that it's not really clearly described, and then you can inspect the scene. And there's also this weird thing, I got this complaint about I download your app and it doesn't work. I can't compile it. No, you have to go to the left down. There's a little drop down. You have to put it in the right way, but that's not stored in GitHub. So yeah, how do I know?
Well, I guess the next people who start developing, they just have to read your blog, right? Because you've described all of those steps.
But that's especially I called the series Lens Studio for the Confused Unity Developer, because that's what I was myself. I had no idea what to do, and yeah, the samples are written for those who basically have a bit of understanding, and I didn't at all. And then actually the fact that it looks so much like Unity is more initially a handicap, because you think you understand, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe it's good to mention your blog for the people who do not know that yet. The few people, it's local Joost.github.io, and there you find all of Joost's information on that.
Yeah,
and I was even before I was wondering about, you talked about the cloud capabilities. So how easy would it be to, or can you say you have some like Azure image recognition service that you want to use? Can you connect that to Snap Spectacles and send your images there, or how does that work, or cloud in general?
Well, you can just use you can just do REST calls, so I assume you can. I would probably more be starting first with what Snap gets themselves, because they're very good at. Yeah, that's how they started, like recognizing things, recognizing your face, making that visible. So I would have a look at that first, but I'm pretty sure you can also. I mean, my next job will be trying to see if I can make Holo ATC for this. I first had to make some preparations and then see if it works, but I will have to write it from scratch. I was already able to see airplanes and move them, but yeah, then it needs a little bit more.
And the computing capabilities, are they comparable to the HoloLens? How many polygons you can draw, for example?
I have not counted, but the polygon count is lower, or the triangles count. I'm pretty sure. It drops down the funny thing is, unlike HoloLens, you see it goes gradually down. It stays up by Snap Spectacles. It stays up pretty well, and then it drops off pretty fast when you cross a certain barrier and things go wrong. The same goes for sound. It can play a lot of sound. They claim 32 at the same. If you go past one, app simply crashes. So
interesting.
Yeah.
And another thing, sorry, continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I had another completely different question about, because you're also using Lens Studio to develop Snapchat filters.
Yeah.
How much overlap is there? Can you develop something for the spectacles and then deploy it to Snapchat as a filter, or?
I have no idea. I have zero interest in developing Snapchat filters, so I didn't even try or no. Okay. No, I can't answer that question. Sorry.
I think I can maybe answer partly the question, because I actually was invited at the event. But so they use the same Lens Studio, but you have to be particular if you're going to build for actual mobile phone or for the Snap Spectacles.
Yep.
There's also difference on size, what you're allowed to use. The polygon count is indeed very low. I was used always to build solutions with 400K plus polygons in HoloLens. I think on Snap you can go somewhere at 25K, 30K max, and then it just everything above. But I still think you can create Snap Spectacle apps that do something with the face. But if you build them for Snap Spectacles, I don't think you can use them for the mobile phone. But because it's in Lens Studio, you would be able to easily rebuild it for the mobile phone because it is the same environment, same coding, everything. That's something they did very smart. But yeah, as Joost also said, the filters were less impressive to me too. I was more looking for other solutions.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting old, and I also don't have children. So, but they make. I saw what they made. They posted their earnings. I was like, oh my god, they really have something there.
Yeah, and I was wondering because with Unity, you often, you build something for the HoloLens and you deploy to Android or some other platform. So I was wondering if that's also easy then with Lens Studio.
Yeah, but as a mixed reality app developer, I don't see the point of even trying.
Now, this is actually really interesting because besides filters, when you're building an app, because you're now trying to do a whole A to C in the environment, it means you need to use 3D objects, you need to use materials, shaders. I don't know what is needed. I think you need all those things. You already mentioned that reusing stuff from Unity is not really, let's put it this way, is challenging. You have to start over.
Yeah, no, the models sometimes, if you can export them, or if they are like GLB or GLTF models, I've used all of my airplanes. But if you have pure prefabs or something you created in Unity or a material or a shader, I haven't tried, but I assume they don't work.
Okay, so you have to create your own materials and shaders again within the Lens Studio.
I think so, but I haven't tried to import Unity shaders. Maybe there's a conversion thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so too. I know there's a lot of requests where at the event I was, is Unity going to be the platform? But they said, no, it will be Lens Studio since it's perfectly matching the device.
Yeah. Well, the thing, of course, is you don't have a third party in it, and I think Unity is pretty heavy, and they have optimized it for light stuff, I think. But it comes at a price. The thing is, what is their plan? I don't know. Why this device? Who is the intended user? Who is the intended client? I assume there is a plan, but I have no idea what. But
I presume it's not for the consumer because it's still really expensive. If you think about it.
If it were up to you, if you could improve something, what would be your first future step to work for another version of this?
Well, I would like to that they fix the sound problems because that's a very small thing, but it's stupid. You can crash a device to display with sound. I would like to be able to runtime in a development environment, the runtime inspect my scene. That makes life a lot easier. There are some, I in my blog series, there are some weird things that I think they could easily fix, like the drag and drop dot works in a weird way sometimes. You got some weird effects. Sometimes you edit a prefab, you change it, but the scenes are not the changes are not propagated in the scene, and I have no idea why. I mean, that's the advantage. They can fix it, but they also have to fix it themselves. I'm not really sure if that's true, but I have the feeling that if this would run Unity or could import stuff from Unity, this would maybe possible high flyer. But then again, like Alexander said, if you're beholden to a small polygon count, then it may be even so limited because Unity is not a lightweight. the players,
Mm.
that may be a problem. So I'm not sure. I mean, if this would run Unity, it would probably open a whole lot of markets for them. The question is, do they want to be in that market?
Yeah, and
don't
I
know.
think when you're talking about Unity, even if they would go in that direction, if their focus, for example, would be consumers at some point, because the earlier glasses were actually, this one is a bit different because it's the first one which is actually doing mixed reality. The issue you're going to get is that when you build stuff for consumers, using Unity becomes really expensive because of the
That's
licensing model.
that's what I forgot.
And Lens Studio does not cost anything extra to do. So far I've seen, it's only the price of the device itself.
Even you can even build stuff without owning a device. But
Yeah, and they even talked about monetizing. So if you build something and you want to bring it out and it's downloaded and used by a lot of people, I think that's the way of how their filters at the moment work. You can actually monetize and get money back for the fact that people are using it.
yeah, so who knows?
Interesting, yeah. I really wonder what market they're targeting, because like you said, like the first thing you think of in Snap, it's like funny filters and
Yeah.
completely consumer focused. So like now making this for, I don't know, enterprise industry, it's interesting. I'm wondering.
Yeah, and yeah, go on, Joost.
Yeah, but then again, suppose you want to show people, yeah, I want this car in another color. So you project it over the real car. And you can also do lightweight business applications with them, but you have to build them in Snapchat or in Lens Studio. Yeah, that's also a thing. So I suppose I make a business app in this. How I'm going to distribute it? That's interesting. There is a kind of store, but that's for everyone. There's no business store. Are these devices managed? When you move into the enterprise space, you get a whole different ball game, and maybe they don't want that. I mean, I would love to be a fly on the wall in Santa Monica sometime. What are you doing? Where are you going?
I think during the event they mentioned, not in the sessions they gave, but the people I spoke with, they said we're also looking for possibilities within the industry. But what you said is definitely true. You get into so many issues when it comes to security, mobile device management, the ability to connect to cloud stuff, are the connections secure enough? Do you support Entra ID when it comes to Microsoft, or do you support another authentication methodology? It's that's still a long way to go, I think. Maybe not, but yeah, I think that they have to overcome that before you can actually become really seriously in that direction.
Yeah, or some smart people have to solve that for them.
Maybe we should pick it up together, Joost.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? No, but the fun thing is, I mean, yeah, when I wrote about this device, I said, it looked like I walked into the dollar store for the Dutch people, the action, thinking to see some firecrackers. I open the door and I see a spaceship ready to take off. I mean, this is. You can talk long or short of it about target or limited it, but it is a full-fledged waveguide device. I've said it before, and the fact that Snapchat make it really surprised me. I mean, I was really like, what? Why? It doesn't happen often that you can buy rocket ships from the Action or the dollar store, So yeah, that's that.
So what you're saying, basically, what I hear is the hardware is really great, but the surrounding, like how to deploy, how to scale, that's not quite there yet. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think at least to deploy and scale, that's from an industry or a business perspective, I don't see that yet. It may be there, but I haven't seen it yet. So and development environment is fun, but very local and very bespoke. Yeah, we already talked about it. Like that has advantages, but also very much disadvantages.
Yeah, you need people who know TypeScript, which is not so difficult, but still, it's not being used that much as C# or other development languages.
Yeah.
But you know what I
I
saw?
would imagine.
What I found for really funny. Have you tried quickly sharing a device between people? Like, look what cool I have in my HoloLens Quest. We always like fiddling and stuff. This is here, try.
Yeah,
Oh,
put
that's
it on
cool.
and it
You really
works.
have to try. It's like glasses. But yeah, unless you have an eye correction thing, then you have to. Yeah, we all wear glasses now. We're old, especially me. So I have to wear either my contacts or yeah, or I don't see it properly.
I
Oh,
think you
hmm.
can get subscription glasses for it, but I have
I'm
to
not
check
really
it
sure.
out.
But then still, then the idea of giving it quickly to somebody else is also gone.
Yeah, but that
Hmm.
same problem you also have with Quest in principle, with Vision Pro, even worse.
Logically,
Yeah.
yeah. The
You
Quest,
need really tiny glasses.
yeah, the
Hmm.
Quest you can fiddle a bit, and if you're lucky, your glasses are not too big, they'll fit in it. The problem
Hmm.
only with that is that if you exert yourself a little bit, then they fall over and you don't see anything anymore.
Yeah.
This problem doesn't have that. So, and it somebody wore it, and yeah, that was a woman. He said, "Wow, I could see this, but I could see me wearing this around the Italian Riviera."
But only there.
Totally stupid.
Now it is impressive how small it is, because can
Yeah,
you show it
Yeah,
again? I
that is
think
true.
it's very
people
small.
people are
I mean, these
surprised
are my
about it.
normal glasses.
Yeah.
It's have a thick rim, and yeah, I mean, I have a really big head, so it's a bit tight here, but it's a very nice device.
Right? I mean, we can talk about that. It looks a bit funny, but it's so impressive how much hardware is in that tiny
I agree.
device.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really weigh much. It's not like it's
Yeah.
a little, yeah, not weights on your nose. It's a bit heavier than a normal glasses, but not even that much. I mean, it's nothing compared to wearing a Quest Pro, of Quest 3, or an Apple Vision Pro,
Yeah.
or something like that.
And from everything you've said, it sounds to me like if you're already a Unity developer, the step to developing for this is like very small. You just need to learn a bit of TypeScript.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds
and get to grips with some limitations.
yeah.
Anyway, the step is not
But
that big. They have clearly been um, inspired by Unity. That's a nice
for
word. Of they
Unity.
take a lot of ideas,
But
but
no. So what I wanted to say with this is it sounds to me like if you're a Unity developer, the step to Lens Studio sounds smaller than the step to Unreal, for
oh
example.
yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the thing only is I have, of course, in 8 year, I have like this toolbox of stuff that I do. What is easy, if I want to do something funny with my hands, I use the reality collective stuff for services. All that stuff isn't there. They have a kind of asset store, but not as big. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
there's nothing like MRTK with like ready-made interaction blocks, or is
they
there?
have yeah, they call it the SICK. It's really funny. The Spectacles Iteration Kit is a bit of an unfortunate name, and there's a lot of these things is in there. Yeah, and a lot of samples.
Okay,
I mean, I have like a beta hand menu, and I just pulled that from the samples, and
nice.
all the buttons in there. Yeah, they have something like that.
Yeah, what I also liked was what do you think about that? The fact that the first time they start a device, there is already a lot of stuff on it.
Yep.
They have a lot of applications you can try out for multi-user, single user, things which communicate with the environment. Sound, it's incredible.
Yeah. There is from the get go, and there's also this weird thing where that makes the multi-user thing work. Also very impressive. Did you try the football app?
Yeah. Now I tried the piano app,
Okay.
because we
So,
actually have a piano.
so they have like the computer vision is not only used to scan the environment, but also to actually learn things about. So you can play a piano with a real piano. It recognizes your fingers and the keys, and they say what you should do. There's also a thing, of course, that's just hand tracking, but it also knows the piano. There's also a
Yeah.
football app that you can actually need to kick a real ball, and it recognizes the ball. That's really weird through virtual hoops, and it actually works. And that's something I have never. I mean, then you have on device or cloud or however they do it, computer vision and object recognition, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think the fact that they use AI for all those things, for the depth,
Mm.
for the recognition, um, I think that's impressive and also good because that's getting better and better. Means the recognition on the device will also getting better and better.
Yeah, that's pure
It's
software.
less depending on the hardware. It gets more into the software part and the models you're using to run behind
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
all of
that's a
those
very smart
AI,
move.
all of those AI functionalities, do they run local on the device, or do you need the constant
Very,
internet
very good
connection?
question. No idea. The problem is also, if you, what Alexander said, there's a lot of on the device. Yeah, is it on the device or is it downloaded on the fly when you start it? I have no idea.
Hmm.
It's quite a closed environment, and you cannot really see what's happening behind the scenes. And the
Can you
other,
start it up if you have no Wi-Fi?
that's an interesting question. I'm going
You
to
should
try
try
it.
that.
Because to set it up, you first have to set up Wi-Fi. It might be interesting to see what it actually does without Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah, that would be. I think also we're almost out of time, so maybe if you had like one last tip for developers starting with the Snap spectacles, do you have any final tips for them?
Yeah, don't be intimidated. It's not as hard as it looks like. I mean, I've cursed a lot, but it was because I simply didn't understand. Just pull through. I mean, I'm also pretty conservative when it comes to choosing a space and staying in it. It's not that hard. TypeScript is not that hard. It has some weird things. Once you're over that, you're basically going. And it's fun to try. I mean, if you have one or can get hold one, just do it. Why not?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joost van
Yes,
Schaik.
thank you.
And this was Lost in a Light Field on Snap Spectacles.
Greetings from Amersfoort.
Thanks, everyone. See you next
Thank you
time.
very much. Bye.
Bye.